Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Tomorrow, where we discuss anything and everything. I'm your host, Petrina.
And I'm a co-host, David.
Okay, the guests we have today are Nathaniel, welcome to the show,
Nathaniel.
and Light. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
And we have today with us Barrister Evans. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
What we want to talk about today is something that's hardly talked about in this part of the world. People don't even recognize it as a problem. Pedophilia. Recently, I watched a video where a comedian was saying that R. Kelly is technically not a pedophile. Yes, he said that there is hebephilia, which is sexual interest in pubescent children, that's children that, they're in the puberty stage from 11 to 14. Then there's also ephebophilia, which is sexual interest in adolescent children, 15 to 18. The joke was that as a man, if you're trying to explain this, you're going to sound like you're defending R. Kelly and to make it sound like you're a pedophile. So now, what really is this perversion called pedophilia?
Pedophilia. It's a primary or exclusive sexual interest in prepubescent children. That means a pedophile can be someone who is interested in children and older people or children alone. And a pedophile is sexually interested. A pedophile is sexually interested in children who haven't gotten to puberty stage yet.
Anyway, for the sake of this conversation, we'll just call everything pedophilia.
Yeah, I never knew they had classification for it.
Okay, so the reason pedophilia is so rampant, is it because we are not conscious enough, or is it because the perpetrators can't keep to themselves? Like, which one do you think it is? Is it that we are not conscious, we don't protect our children enough, or
they can't keep to themselves?
They can't keep to themselves.
No, to me, if I should come in, I think pedophilia at its peak is so paramount in our society here, this place particularly, because a lot of the good disciplinary measures and the consequences of people doing this is not really curtailed as it ought to. Because if people go to jail really for this, it will drop drastically. So I feel the perpetrators of this in this part of the world, they are not really dealt with as it ought to, if I should say. Thank you.
But is it that they don't keep to themselves? Like, so where is the problem from? Is it that these people can't keep to themselves? Like, they go out of their way to look for these children? Or is it from, like, the parents, is it the parents' problem that they don't...
No, I get now. No, I think the problem is from the people who can't keep to themselves. Right? Yes. It's from them.
Yeah, I think pedophilia is a very serious condition. It's a serious condition that cannot be justified by any medical expression of helplessness. I do not think that people should engage children in sexual activity. I don't think so. No matter what the appeal is or are, no matter how morally bankrupt you are, which is not anybody's responsibility, no matter what you call hormonal dysreaction, there is a scientific expression as to why people do it. And I think that scientific expression is demonic. It's demonic because, demonic because now in some part of the world, there's a movement now that they should be allowed. Yes, that's how God created them. To truncate the future of another person's child or theirs. Okay? So I don't think it's a healthy condition. It's a psychological misnomer. It should not be condoned in any society. Society must ensure that people who have such condition must be purged of such contempt by putting them up in prisons where they can get help, where they can get reformation, or where they can get what they need to fix that deformity. It's actually a deformity.
Yes. Actually,
in the UK, if you try it, you have your place. You have your day in court and you have your place. There's a place they keep them where they ought to be. They're not supposed to be in civil society. You understand? Because you just imagine if someone had taken advantage of you at age 3, 4, 5. Just imagine what a trauma is. Just imagine how that will play on in your mind throughout your childhood. What that will do is that it will take away your childhood. A child that's supposed to be innocent, that's supposed to grow into adulthood, adolescent, and grow into an expression of humanity. Someone comes from somewhere. He said he's a mad person. He comes from somewhere with some conditions, and he's telling you that he's created that way.
It's not
That's
created
the
that
thing.
way.
A lot of things they are, normalized.
I think even pedophilic stuff is more of a disorder from the research I did. I think that's a disorder. As you say, it's demonic. It's a mental problem to me.
Yes, it's
And
a disorder.
it's a disorder, a major disorder. And people who do that, I think it's an abnormality. And those people, they are not supposed to, as you said earlier, they are not supposed to live with normal human. Because imagine yourself having feelings or sexual urge for a children or a baby or an infant. People go as far as doing this with an infant. It's a major problem. To me, it's dysfunctionality at its peak.
Yes,
So
and
those
should not be condoned by
and should not be
any
condoned
kind of-
at all.
But we have a society that covers up situations like that, where they will say, because sometimes you have landlord association, sometimes you have compound people.
But with
the case is riddled with a lot of poverty, cover up,
Yeah.
and then the child is disadvantaged, and society is willing to carry on because of the way the value we place on human lives. I mean, if one of us, okay, is debased, is dehumanized, the rest of society, they are willing to move on. So there's a part in which society must play in this, that anyone who is caught in this act,
Yeah.
that society must not assume jurisdiction to hear that case. That case must go to court.
That's it.
And the perpetrators or perpetrator must
Face the
face
penalty.
the law.
So wait, I want to ask, do you think our view on pedophilia is influenced by the society? I mean, what I'm saying is, in some countries, age of consent is 16, and in Nigeria here, age of consent is 18. So is it that when you are 18, you are now of consent to say, okay, yes, I want this, or do we still think that person is still young?
Well, the age of consent here does not mean we should all be warming up and be waiting for people
Them to be
Exactly.
18.
to become a particular
Exactly.
age
Yeah.
so that we can go and destroy them. You understand? You see, this age of consent does not mean anything as far as I'm concerned, because most time people are forced into this. People are deceived into it. I know the definition of rape under our law, section 357 of the criminal code, that rape is when a man have a carnal knowledge with a woman without her consent.
But it's not only men that rape.
Or no, I'll come to the law. Don't worry. No, I don't enter law. Don't worry. Just hold on. A man have carnal knowledge of a woman without her consent, or with her consent when such consent is procured by fraud, duress, intimidation. So any consent she give that is not of her natural making,
Yeah.
which is procured by fraudulent activity, deception, or whatsoever, is still rape. Okay? Now, the Violent Against Persons Act, okay, also have expanded the definition of that abuse by saying that a woman can also have carnal knowledge of a man. It's actually rape too. But that if you insert your hand, your penis, or any part of your body to any opening in the body of a child, a woman, a man, whatsoever, it's also rape. So the definition before now used to be a man against a woman. That's the abuse. Now children, that's the abuse. All that used to be that. But another law came and then expanded the scope, okay, to mean that it will also be an abuse when you insert anything anywhere in the person's body, whether the male or the female. The argument before was that a woman does not have the genital construction to rape a man. Because to rape a man, to rape anyone, You must have the erection to so do. And rape is not a condition of convenience. It's a condition of struggle and rejection and repellent. You understand? So if your penis is erected and you are claiming that the woman raped you, that will not be admissible.
Well, but by servants,
Because erection will mean consent.
But what if you are drugged? What if you are drugged?
Eh?
What if the person was
There's
drugged?
no consent.
When you are drugged, that can be by medical examination.
Okay.
You can come to terms with what it is. But I think what we're saying today is about pedophilia.
Exactly.
So let's restrict it. No, allow me to be as explicit as possible.
Yes, I can understand
I like
where
the
you're
explicit,
coming from.
yes.
Of course, yes. But I think what David is asking, your question was, in Israel, their consent age is 16, and in Nigeria here, our consent age is 18. So if a man of an elderly man comes to a child or a lady of 18, is it still a pedophile? That was your question, right?
Do you think it's a pedophile?
Okay. Morally, you might not be able to actually like go down with a child of 18 years, but legally,
Morally.
yeah, because you might still be thinking she is a child.
But they used to give her their children at the age of 18. No?
That exactly. Thank you very much. Vice Evans, let's go to the north side. They give their children out as early as 13, 14 years.
Yes.
What do we call them?
It is illegal
It's
because
not-
it's illegal because they allow their culture
Yeah.
to determine their lifestyle. It's not your culture that is allowed by law to determine your lifestyle. It's the law that's supposed to regulate human condition. That is why when the laws were handed down to us by the Britons, they took our culture and ran it through our laws. Two tests, the repugnancy test and the validity test. One they put it through, the killing of twins did not pass the repugnancy test or the validity test. Now, giving out children at a very young age for marriage, forced marriage, did not pass through the validity test. That's why in law we say it is repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience. So if it does not pass, in the Yoruba culture, the Igi custom and the Oriojori custom, one passed the validity test, the other did not pass the validity test.
Okay.
One said that upon the death of a man, his property should be shared among the number of wives. One said that when a man dies, the property should be shared among the number of children. The one that said that it should be shared among the number of wives got it wrong because one wife can have 7 children. So if you share the property equal among the number of wives, one wife may have 1, he may not even have any. And it's taken equal with those that have
Children.
Do you understand? So one passed the validity test, the other did not pass the validity test. Now for children, it did not pass the validity test. So it is repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience to give out children for marriage because they do not have the mental capacity to handle the institution called marriage. And then when you want to also take advantage of them, do it by force, they do not understand what it means.
Exactly.
Or they cannot also appropriate the pleasure because of lack of maturity. You understand? So what you are doing is you are destroying them. And society is saying no. That is why the penalty for such kind of abuse is life imprisonment.
For giving out your child.
Yes.
So, Nathaniel, let me hear from you. So,
Okay.
the question exactly is that you know that in our own society,
Yeah.
18 is the age of consent.
Yes.
So, in another place that is 16, how do you think that our view of pedophilia is it shaped by our society? Because someone else that is, like he said, Israel, for example, someone else that is in Israel that will be 17 and is seeing an older person, there it's not considered pedophilia according to the law. But here it is. So do you think that our society is what's shaping our...
Yes, our society is largely part of what is shaping that here. Now, if you have an 18-year-old lady here, I was supposed to cite an instance about a celebrity, but that's out of it. And she consented that she wants to get married with full knowledge of her parent and herself to a man. There's nothing anybody can do about it. And it happens here. You've seen countless cases of that. You want to chip in something?
Yeah.
So it has been happening here. So there's not in our society. The society where it falls depends on how the law is being played out there. So I think it's the environment that depends on the law.
But the truth is, I actually still feel, even if you're 19, if the age difference, for me, that's what defines it as pedophilia or not. The age difference, because you might be 19, but sometimes if the older person knew you from when you were young, and still like grew up with you, like saw you in all your stages, and still like sees you in that way. So
I
as a
think-
sexual-
I think- let me comment. Let me comment
yes,
from the
yes,
research
yes.
I did.
Legally, you cannot
Let me
be that kind of person.
Let me
Yes,
comment from
yes.
the research I did on free encyclopedia Britannica. When somebody is 5 years ahead of you in age, it's already pedophilia. They are not
Really?
yes, a tentative research.
Mhm.
And yes, you can go
What
and do
if
that.
you are 30
Now
and
listen.
the person is 40?
30 and 40.
There's nothing wrong
5
with
years
this.
difference.
There's
5
nothing-
years difference. There's another research not proven that if somebody is 5 years ahead of you, pedophilia comes in. And you see, now the research wasn't approved. And you see people who are older than other people, even the people that brought all this law in, you see white, somebody's 40, she gets married to somebody younger than her and nothing happens. Now, for that research, it wasn't proven. But I will talk for 60 and somebody that is 20. As far as the person has given consent that you are ready for this, emotionally you are stable, mentally, I think there should be a mental fitness test that you are ready for this. If you are ready,
see, the reason that I say this, that I
Yes.
still consider it pedophilia, is at the age of like
21.
I heard that till you get to like 26, your brain is not even fully developed. So there's something called the prefrontal cortex. It's the
Okay.
part of your brain that helps you like in planning
Make
and
judgment.
yes.
Mhm.
So at that point, you're still a child. So there are some kind of decisions that I don't think that you should be making at that age.
But people at that
Saying,
age,
legally you are allowed, but I'm talking about
but let's
morally.
forget about that, which is real, maybe scientifically proven. Some people are at 25, and you see somebody at 22, 23 who have more even matured, it varies sometimes.
It depends on the
Yes.
environment.
And the person handles things more.
The environment you were brought up, you understand, also influence your. They say environment influence 50% of your thought process.
Very true.
Your
Very
thought
true.
process.
Very
For
true.
things you hear every day and see every day,
Very
they
true.
define your life pattern and the kind of people you also. Maybe there are people who grew up with elderly people who all through their lifetime they are all they hear. It's about very matured. If it's jokes, matured one. If it's anything, conversation. So they tend to get ahead of their age in faculty.
Okay.
So when they get to school too, they are the ones in the room who are the peacemaker, the ones that will bring everybody down when everybody is up there.
Yes,
You
I've seen
understand?
that.
Their background, your background. Some people are not from. Some persons were raised by children.
Yeah.
When
like
when someone
and now
when someone is 13, he gave birth at 13. Started raising a child. You understand? He raises that child. The child is you cannot give what you don't have.
26
There's nothing to deposit. There's nothing to deposit on. You know? So
on the child.
people it varies. You understand? But when we say pedophilia, we're talking about underage here.
Yeah.
Someone who is not up to
That's still
maturity.
that's entirely what
It's not. Then some persons now have proclivity and propensity to be drawn to them. They have no breasts. They have no nothing.
Nothing.
Those, the natural things that will attract a man to a woman, they don't have it. So what is that thing that is? Because I don't know whether they are helpless or they are stupid. I don't know. But I refuse to agree that they are helpless. I think they are rudderless. Yes, there are people. I don't know what to call them.
So
It's
let me
not-
ask this
It's not a
question.
condition that should be
Barrister,
condoned anywhere.
if someone finds themselves attracted to children, what are they supposed to do?
They are supposed to seek help. They're supposed
Get
to
help.
go for serious medical scrutiny to find out what is responsible. Something
Because
must
it's
be
not normal.
responsible.
Yes.
Yes, it's either the hormonal dysreaction or something is out of. I don't like to spiritualize things. Okay, I don't know what it is, but they should get help
Yeah,
and
they
they should
should
get it
get help.
fast.
Very, very
But in our society, people don't open up to things like that.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
In the West, somebody will go and meet a doctor and say, "Doctor, you know what? I think I'm mad." You understand? So they will start to look into why and all that. But here, who will you go and tell that you are attracted
I don't
to
even
that?
understand you.
Who are you going to tell? Is it me that has already condemned you here that you're going to go and tell, or who, or your parents? You understand? We don't have that tolerance here. Eh?
Yeah.
Maybe one of the ways to help them out of that is to be tolerant of whatever it is. Okay? Mental health situations like that should be addressed. But we are in a society where what we yearn for is survival. It's survival. So when you're in a society where survival is the only business of the day, what will you do with the emotional instability?
Nobody cares.
They say if crocodiles will eat their own eggs, what would they do with the flesh of frogs?
Generally, we all even need mental fitness testing. A lot of people need to heal.
Yes, the kind of economy we're in fact, all of us, I think we're all sick.
Well, let me stop you guys.
Economically, we should be put to test now.
Let me stop you guys there. Well, let's take a pause on this episode. We'll be coming back with the second part. Stay with us. And if you are yet to follow us across our social media and subscribe to our YouTube, we are at Enterprise TV 7. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.